subsidy removal. Governors plan cash transfer to poor households. Dump Buhari's list.
You cannot throw money at things like this. The country was completely unprepared for this subsidy, and at the same time devaluation, a double whammy. So unless you retrace your steps and do the right thing, you just be gassing in the wind. And because look at what the paper says here. It says that the Economic Council, comprising 36 state governors and the Vice President, has concluded a plan for state governments to implement cash transfer programs. Question number 1, whose cash? The state cash or the federal government cash? Number 2, how would this be shared? How would this cash be shared? You don't have a population figures, you don't have anything. So what would be the criteria for giving it? And given the position that our leaders have, especially our governors, I can assure you 3/4 of that cash will be going into private hands. That is something that is almost a given. And he said that state general social registers, that states should should establish their own registers. You know it won't work. What you will have is people lobbying to be put into that list. So it will be like, okay, in your ward, go and meet your ward leader, make sure Borukowa will list, and you'll be back to where you are. In this dispensation, anything cash cannot work. We don't have what it takes to do so. And before we could establish the things that would, give us a credible social register, even if we tried, you're looking at 6 months. So what happens before then? Okay? And it says that states are better positions to do that enumeration to ensure the integrity of the social register. Dapo Abiodun, governor of Ogun State, told State House correspondent after the meeting, chaired by the Vice President. He spoke alongside Soludo, Bala Mohammed, and Shonubi, and Fola Shaloso. He said, States generated register is aimed at enhancing the integrity and reliability of the National Social Register and ensuring that resources go to the intended beneficiaries. Who are the intended beneficiaries? Your party people. Because that's what's going to happen. Trust me. That's what's going to happen. Then, of course, it will be loaded. Definitely. It's a Nigerian thing. And it says that the 6 months cash award policy, Abiodun said, would allow subnational entities to pay their public servants a prescribed amount of cash monthly. They also talked about something, let me put it in simple terms, pay all what you owe to public servants. For starters, if you go by figures, about 60% are unemployed. So if you pay what you owe, which you will not pay, you haven't paid gratuities for close to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. You haven't paid leave allowance. You haven't paid all these things. Where are you going to get the money? If you put all these monies together, wouldn't it have been better for you to keep the subsidy then? But to make sure that it is done in an authentic and transparent manner. And this would not be any different from what we had. It's sad. Then they also tore Buhari's social register apart. Thank God, Buhari supporters who had been insulting people by saying it was authentic. I know somebody who got in a country of 220-something million. You know 2 people who got. Is that what we are talking about? The governors who are very close to governance, have said that register has no credibility. Go out and buy. Mm-hmm. End of story. And I can assure you, I would not put my reputation on the line for any register set up by the state government, as long as people know that register is going to involve cash disbursement. So we should stop this idea of throwing cash and come out with if mistakes have been made, if we have been in a hurry, can't we go back to status quo and do the right thing? Because if all the 36 governors, all they can come up with is this, then there's a problem. Now, in what they have said, not one single mention on cutback. They haven't said that when they were at the meeting, we also all decided to reduce government expenditure in whatever form by 40% or by 60%. Reduce the value of the vehicles that we buy. Reduce entertainment. You want to tie a road, you launch it, you spend money. The road is tarred, you launch it, you spend money. Reduce all these monies across the line. Governor driving, a governor shouldn't be driving a luxurious vehicle at her own expense in these times. Look at, I think it was a Punch or so, I saw a photograph of the Ikeja Bridge. It was like people coming from stadium. It was like people coming from, nothing about that at all. Neither Dakwe Obodo or Soludo, who said something like, oh, we are going to, all these luxurious cars, we are going to put them on the market to raise funds, and we expect people to be more prudent. We might, just something in framework, and then internally you decide that, look, no commissioner should drive a vehicle that is more than 5 million naira, so he can go and buy any of these tokumbos. After all, everybody is doing that. Nothing like that. Nothing. No convoys, nothing. No policy framework on that at all. It's all just about throwing cash at the people. I'm sorry. I don't have hope in what is going on, and I'm gradually losing hope in the leadership of this country across the board. That's my personal opinion. I'm losing hope, and I'm looking at it not just a capacity problem, but what I think, the feeling that I get as a citizen is that I'm just being shown these things to pacify. And then you also know that we don't have a history of government living up to its promises. So all this is just to keep tempers down. And I also think that these people are trying to be polite. Okay, they're also trying to protect the image of the leadership at the national level for the terrible mistake they have made in implementing this subsidy scheme without planning, without even settling down into governance. So for me, I'll just tell you, brace yourself. Brace yourself up very, very well. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. So why are you keeping quiet? Why are you?
I'm thinking, right?
Yes.
I'm thinking about, because one of the conditions for the loan is that there's got to be a conditional cash transfer to the people.
Yes.
Then I'm thinking, even if we must incorporate that into the utilization of that money, is it? So what's the best way to go? The central government to do it, or the subnationals to do it? If you look at what happened during COVID palliatives, I mean, it leaves a very sad taste in people's mouth up until today. Now, who can guarantee, who can hit their chest and say that my state governor will do the right thing?
You see, we have, it first of all has to do with our attitude. We got ourselves into this mess because most of us, whether we like it or not, have tolerance for corruption. I maintain that there's nothing wrong in subsidies. It's implementation. So if you couldn't implement your subsidy program creditably, why would this be any different? Whether it's federal, we need to tell ourselves the truth. A cash transfer cannot be transparent in Nigeria, period. That's what it is. So we need to do things that are of a more general nature. And this removal of subsidy honestly should have taken something between 9 months to a year over time. It phased whatever. In that time, you'll be able to do a few things that would cushion the effect. Throwing cash at it is not going to do anything. Even for the recipients of that cash, it won't. Whether you get it from federal or from state, what would 7,000 or 8,000 do in the life of anybody now, given the circumstances? What we're trying to say is that bring a lot of this heat down. It's not throwing cash at it at all. Already, ask now people who are trying to get accommodation now. They will tell you what what things are like. Things have spiraled. But if after a National Economic Council, this is what is making front page news. there is a capacity problem. When I heard that people talking about money owed, why did you owe
Governor Abiodun?
Governor Abiodun? Sorry, Ojare.
No, I'm even repeating his name. Like,
Yes.
When I saw that, I was like, why did Governor who passed the mic? I mean, no offense to the governor, like, who passed the mic to me?
See, we're talking about for those who have been owed, why did you owe them in the first instance? You get your monthly stipend. When it's time for retirement, you get it in full. You're owing people 18 months, 2 years. Leave allowance, 0. As small as a little rat I was in the Ministry of Justice way back when I worked there in the 70s, I got a leave allowance. It's automated. It's automated. I'm going to be very blunt. If Nigeria doesn't try at some point to change the leadership cycle that we have in this country, we'll be going from bad to worse. If we keep voting in some of the people that I'm thinking of now, what do you expect? Like I said, look at the tribunals and see the issues that are coming up. Look at the tribunal. This one for school cert. Yeah. This one.
For
this
certificate.
One for certificate.
NYSC.
NYSC. For God's sake, let's call a spade a spade. We have criminally minded people amongst us. What do you think we will get?